So the first thing I'd like you to kind of discuss with the people of Jackson County is over the past almost 2 years, what do you think are some of the greatest things that your group of commissioners have accomplished here for the county?
We started working on major issues such as the libraries. For the first time in Jackson County, our libraries are solvent and we have permanent long-term funding for them. That is an incredible feeling to know that our future businesses and our children will always have that to be able to rely on. Some of the other things that I see that we've done is we've taken major steps with the fair and the expo, and I'm seeing that program starting to really take hold, and the management shifting and taking a business style approach to it, but yet maintaining that down home country farm animal, this is our country fair, and I think that's going to be a really neat thing as we move into the future. Those are two major items that I've seen that from the county's perspective.
What are just kind of a few things that you're really, really proud of that your Board of Commissioners accomplished over your term?
Well, I think probably the most important thing, and even though it wasn't our idea, we were a big part of it, is getting the library district formed and extension service. Those pretty much solved any financial issues that the county will have, in my mind, for another 20 years, for the foreseeable future. You know, the county's finances will be rock solid, you know, just relieving the burden of those two issues out of the county budget.
Tell me something that you feel you're really going to miss.
I'm going to miss being involved as a policymaker, having the opportunity to impact what I think are improvements in the people's lives here in Jackson County. I'm going to miss that. I like being involved. I've always been involved most of my life. I will definitely miss that, coming to the office and sitting in our meetings, our work sessions, and whether they be heated or whatever the case may be, I'll miss that. I really will miss that.
Although you've only been here a year and 10 months, so you've been working with a couple of pretty amazing folks. And they're not going to be here a couple of months from now. And so I'd just like to kind of get your thoughts on Commissioner Don Skundrich and what it's been like working with him, and just tell us a little bit about your experience.
Working with Commissioner Skundrich has been an incredible opportunity in my life. I find him to be a very smart, brilliant man. He has wonderful mentoring capabilities, and he has been able to share those with me. He's very collegiate. We might have a difference of opinion at times on the way things should move forward, and we have some robust discussions to get to the conclusion. But by the end of the day, we've reached some kind of consensus, and I think that Jackson County as a whole has benefited from that ability. It's going to be sad to lose him, but you know, there's a new era coming on. He's decided he wants to retire, and so I want to encourage him to enjoy life and be happy. I think that's the biggest part. You know, we all decide to do that one day. I'm going to miss him.
Tell us a little bit about what it's been like working with Commissioner John Rasher.
John Rasher is a very quiet, mild, meek person. Nothing what you read about in the papers 15, 20 years ago. He's very relationship oriented, and he likes to have that ability to communicate with you about your family. He actually cares about what's going on in your life. It's kind of nice to see that. He's got a passion for his boats and his flying. However, when it comes to business and management, I find the man extremely shrewd, very relaxed, very deadpan at times, but yet knows exactly what he wants, how to accomplish it. And sometimes in a meeting, I've seen him keep his cool, so cool you don't even know where he's at in his position, and then he just makes a slight comment that what he's looking for, which gives direction to the whole conversation, and it turns. So it's been wonderful to study underneath him and learn a few tricks of the trade on how to get some things accomplished.
You spent 3 years and 10 months hanging out with a guy a couple of doors down by the name of Commissioner Skundrich, and I know that you guys have just worked so well together, but I'd just like to kind of share a little bit about Commissioner Skundrich and your thoughts on what he's like working with, and personally for that matter.
Well, I didn't know Don before we came into this office. We just ran in different circles in the community. He was in the construction end, and I was in the cowboy and the food end of things, the ranching end, farming end. And so, but I was just telling Danny the other day that over the years, Don and I have become good friends. Now, we've spent no social time together, but I know when he makes a decision on something, it's coming from his heart, and he's not looking for what's in it for me. He's making, and we don't agree on a lot of things. We've disagreed. Last week we disagreed on two different issues: the marijuana and the marijuana taxation and funding RCC. But we respect each other's opinion. I believe I really respect his, and he has jumped into this job full bore with both feet. He lives and dies this job, and so I've really been impressed. It's been great working with him. And we've talked about when we get out of this job, we're going to spend some more time together socially. So.
Don, when you came into the office, you got the wonderful pleasure of coming in with another first-year commissioner, Mr. Rasher, and I know that you guys have had a great relationship. And I just can you kind of share with us a little bit about what it's like to be working with John, and talk about John a little bit?
From a personal standpoint, John Rasher is one of those folks that if you're going on a golfing trip, fishing trip, doing whatever with a bunch of guys, you want to make sure he's involved in your group. He has a tremendous sense of humor. He tells a story like very few people can. He's honest, he's forthright, he's very even-keeled, doesn't get excited very much. When he's mad, you know it, but it doesn't happen very often. It has been a real pleasure to work with John. He's a great county commissioner. He's a detailed person. In fact, I count on that, and I've said that from the bench there, that I count on him picking up the details. And so when we bring a book into on an ordinance or something, it's in fact we kid him about it because it could be a binder that thick, and he's got little markers in each one of them. And we got to the point we think maybe he just goes and puts these markers on to impress us. Well, after you get talk to him for a while, you find out, no, that's not the case. He's read it, he understands it, he's researched it. So from a professional, personally, couldn't find a better person. Professionally, couldn't find a better person. And I don't know how much better to say that, except that it has been an honor to work with him. We have talked about, because in this position, you can't talk about positions that you're going to make a decision on somewhere down, because you have all the open meeting laws. Understand those, have no problem with those whatsoever. But what it does, it hinders some relationships a little bit. Fortunately, we can work through our administrator and such, but one of the things that John and I were just talking about here recently is the opportunity for he and us and our wives to sit down and go out to dinner. We can talk about anything we want to talk about. And I hope that my relationship with John and Sue Rasher grows after I leave this office.